Okay, sixth grade, we are starting chapter 15. If you came into the school on Monday and you came and saw me, I gave you a printed copy of this note packet. If you didn't get a printed copy, it is available on Google Classroom. You can print it. You can also just watch this video over and over and over if you need to. So chapter 15, we're going to be dealing with what we call plane figures. Plane, of course, hopefully we remember, means a flat two-dimensional surface. So plane figures are shapes on the two-dimensional surface. Yes, seriously, we are taking a chapter to learn about shapes. We're going to use better names than just shapes, though. Okay, so vocabulary terms. Polygon. Okay, a polygon is a closed figure with straight sides, and those straight sides are line segments. No circles here, my friends. They come later in the chapter. A vertex is a point on a polygon where two consecutive sides meet. Another word that you might want to use in place of vertex, corner. And a regular polygon is a polygon in which all the sides are congruent. Remember, congruent is our fancy geometry word for equal. And all the angles are congruent. So what we have here is a table that we're going to fill in. And we're going to put down the names of a bunch of polygons, how many sides they have, how many angles they have, and how many vertices or corners that they have. There will be a pattern. You'll see it very quickly, and you'll get very bored with it. But that's okay. So the shape you can make with the fewest number of line segments is the triangle. So triangle. I don't know why you just dropped my G down, but pretend that G's up there between the N and the L. A triangle has three sides, three angles, and three vertices. Told you there's a pattern. The four-sided shape. We started with three, we'll go to four. We talked about this in class briefly last Thursday. The four-sided shape, most generic name, is the quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. All these words, by the way, are on page 440 of your book. There are four sides on a quadrilateral. Quad is the prefix for four. There are four angles. There are four vertices. Up next, the pentagon. Seriously, why don't you like my G's, iPad? Anyway, pentagon, five-sided, five-angled, five-cornered. So obviously, I think we can at this point go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah? I think we all know where this is going. So no sense in hiding it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fill those in. So naming. Six-sided. Hexagon. Seven-sided. There are two words for this. It is either a heptagon, which is what your book calls it, but I will also accept septagon. S-E-P-T-A-G-O-N. Eight sides are an octagon. Nine-sided is called a nonagon, N-O-N-A-G-O-N, and 10-sided is called a decagon. Again, I apologize for the writing. I'm getting used to the iPad and how it'll let me do things. You can find all of these words properly spelled on page 440 of your book, which I will upload a picture of. So we need to know all of this, specifically the names. Okay? So now before I move my screen, I'm going to need to erase all of this. And it's going to take me a moment. So what we're going to be doing in this first section is identifying shapes based on the number of sides they have and saying if it's regular or not. Remember, regular, right here, a polygon in which all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. Thank you, keyboard, I don't need you. But you're probably not going to go away, are you? There we go. So, first set of examples. Determine if the polygon is regular or not. To that end, we need to recognize what all these little symbols mean. So, when there's a single line through the side of a shape, and all the sides have that line through it, it is a geometer's way of saying these are all the same. Not necessarily going to tell you how big it is, doesn't necessarily matter. We're telling you they're all the same. Same thing when the angles symbols, these little guys here, let me highlight one for you. Same thing, when these have lines through them like this, it's their way of saying congruent, the same. If there are no lines, as in these guys, then it means nothing. It's just showing you an angle. There have to be lines in it to show equals. Okay. So let me ditch all that. So determine if the polygon is regular or not. We're also going to name them by the number of sides to get used to doing this, because you're going to have to do that on your test. So, first shape here. I count from the top going around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And all 6 sides are the same. All 6 angles are the same. This is a regular hexagon. Hey, it didn't drop my letters. Small victories. Our second shape. Okay. There's a side marked with 1 mark on the left here. The 2 right sides are marked with double marks. And the top and bottom are marked with triple marks. So what's that telling us, or what that is telling us, I'm sorry, is that the 2 sides on the right are the same. The top and bottom are the same. But they're different sames. So for example, the sides on the right might be 4, and the top and bottom might be 7. The key factor here is that they're not all the same, which means you're not regular. I don't care anything about the angles. If the sides aren't all the same, don't gotta worry about it. This has 5 sides. So since it's not regular, we will say that by saying non-regular. Remember, non is our prefix for not. We remember that from non-collinear. And 5-sided makes this a pentagon. The last guy on the side here is, again, 5-sided. We know it's a pentagon. We know all the sides are congruent, but we don't necessarily know what the angles are. Well, guess what? For every single shape except quadrilaterals, okay, quadrilaterals are special here. Every other shape, if all 5 sides are congruent, then all 5 angles are also congruent, guaranteed. So, since I know all the sides are the same, I know this guy is regular. And again, he's 5-sided, so he is a pentagon. So, some shape identification, nothing crazy. The next bit is the part that, well, it gets a little crazy pants. So the notes say use the figure on page 440 at the bottom of the page and name a triangle, a quadrilateral, a pentagon, and a hexagon. So this is going to be a 3-sided, 4-sided, 5-sided, and 6-sided shape. I'm going to jump over to that image, which I have hiding here. Make it nice and big for us. It's a little blurry, I apologize for that. So, if we're looking for a triangle, okay, 3-sided shape, I'm thinking A to J to B. Okay. Put your pencil on top of the diagram if you have it, finger on the computer screen if not, A to J to B, and then back to A. That makes a three-sided shape. That is triangle AJB. Okay, written out, that looks like this. We would say the word triangle. We're going to abbreviate AJB. It's 3 letters in a row, just like an angle should be. No commas, because we're not a list of letters. We are the name of a shape. Okay, so a quadrilateral will have 4 letters in its name. So let's pop back over here. Now we could get fancy. Okay, but we shouldn't. We should stick with the easiest quadrilateral to see, which is the whole outside box. We do not name it with A, C, E, and G. Okay. The rules for naming a shape is that as you name letters, they have to be connected. And if we are going past the letter, we don't name it. So the big box, we look at the corners on the outside there, H, B, D, and F. Okay, H, B, D, F. That is going to be the name of a quadrilateral, H, B, D, F. We don't want to use A because we're going to go past it as we go to B. We don't want to use C. We go past it on the way to D. Same thing for E and G. And we can't call it A, C, E, G because A, C, E, and G aren't directly connected. Yes, you can get from A to C, but you have to go through B. And since you have to pass it and turn on it, you have to name it. We name the places where we start and where we turn and where we end. So if we start at H, turn at B, turn at D, end naming it F, really we'd have to go back to H to close the shape off. That's 4 letters, that's 4 corners, that's a quadrilateral. So it would be H, B, D, F. Okay, and we would just go QUAD for quadrilateral, H, B, D, F. Give myself some marks here. So a pentagon, which, yes, we can abbreviate PENT. Okay. 5 letters now. So we go back to our shape. Now here's the weird thing. We cannot cross over ourselves. Okay, so for example, if I went from H to D to C to G to H, H, D, C, G, H, so really H, D, C, G, that's not okay because when I go from C to G, I would be crossing over where I'd already gone from H to D. So we can't cross over, and we can't name a point twice. So there's a bunch of different 5-sided shapes here. In my view, the easiest one is, instead of doing our square the whole way around, let's drop into the middle on one of the sides. So say if I started at H, I could drop to J, then go up to B. That's 2 sides, HJ, JB, and then finish going back around the outside edge. So from B, I would go to D, to F, to H. Naming that is H, J, B, D, F. H, J, B, D, F. And last, we need ourselves a 6-sided shape, a hexagon, so hex for hexagon. And this one can be a little bit more challenging because we can't dip into the center more than once. So the easiest way to draw one here would be to start in the middle of an edge. Drop to the middle. Cut back out to a corner. I'm sorry, not a corner, back out to the next side. And then finish going around the shape. What I mean by that is, like, if I start at A, drop straight down to J, cut back out to C, and then continue back around the edge of the shape as though I hadn't done that at all. A to J is 1, J to C is 2, C to D is 3, D to F is 4, F to H is 5, H back to A is my 6th side. So that's A, J, C, D, F, H. Again, that is A, J, C, D, F, H. Ideally, you wouldn't write that name split over 2 sides, but I can't really make the paper any bigger on an iPad screen. Welcome to Polygons. I will tell you right now, I have already made your quiz into a Google form style quiz like you have in religion. What we just did is not on the test. Okay, I know those problems can be very difficult. There will be some in your assignment. I want you to try them to the best of your ability, but I don't want you to go crazy. On the test, from this section, the things you need to know are the names of the different shapes and how to tell if it is regular or not. I will be assigning practice problems. I will upload either a video or just written responses to that to tell you what the correct answers are, depending on what I think you need. There will be an assignment. To turn that in, your best bet is probably going to be to write it on paper as you normally would, take a picture of that, and then in Google Classroom, you should be able to upload the picture. You may have to move it off of a phone or something to do that. You are very intelligent. I have faith you can move a picture from a phone to a computer. We're going to keep on with this as best we can. I plan on treating however long we're off here business as usual. We're doing some things that we can learn in this distance format, so there's no reason not to go on. We're going to keep on keeping on. That way, no matter when we come back and what we're able to do once we return to in-person classes, I can look at all of you at the end of the year and say, I'll see you next year. You are all ready for, and we are going to tackle pre-algebra. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, and you'll hear me on the next video.